Everyone, so welcome on YourPedia, and today we are standing at a place in the heart of BITS Pilani campus adjacent to library, and this place is Rakesh Kapoor Innovation Center, state-of-art research facility in this particular building. And with me is Professor Vinay Chamola sir. Sir, welcome on YourPedia.
Thank you.
So Vinay sir, I would like to know for my viewers, what is this Rakesh Kapoor Innovation Center? इसके बारे में अगर थोड़ा सा बताएं.
So this Rakesh Kapoor Innovation Center is a kind of a facility where we support interdisciplinary research, and we have many small labs within this which hosts many interesting kind of projects, facilities where the students can come and they can actually work on various projects. For example, we have a IoT tinkering lab, we have a AR VR lab, we have separate tinkering facility also where the students have access to PCB fabrication, they have access to 3D printing kind of a facility, and we have actually workspaces for startup students also. So many students who are working on their original their own startups, they can actually come here, they can network with each other, and they can make use of the facilities. So the basic idea is, many a times we see you see for example different departments, they are quite isolated, so the students, they are not able to so very nicely use the interdisciplinary facility and all. So here the goal was to create a center where we have people from different kind of branches, different kind of streams, and they pool in to support the students in kind of working on various interdisciplinary and interesting projects.
So Professor Chamola, what I understood is, other than being house for various research labs, this Rakesh Kapoor Innovation Center, it is also workplace for startups, and startups incubation center type activities are also going on in this building. So that is what I understood?
Yes, very much, In fact, we have the PIDES center also here. So BITS actually kind of supports the students, the undergrad students, to actually create startups. So they give seed funding, very good seed funding to the students to encourage them to kind of start startups. In fact, if you can see around here in the Rakesh Kapoor Innovation Center, we have these banners which shows the various unicorns which have actually come out from BITS Pilani. For example, you see Grow, Swiggy, Redbus, and many other kind of very successful startups have been kind of started by our alumni, and BITS wants to promote this particular kind of thing, and they have a dedicated PIDES society to kind of support such projects, and they provide mentorship, and they provide many other facilities. For example, the students who are working here, the startup founders and all, they get a facility to use whatever resources and facilities which are available in this facility.
So friends, BITS Pilani proudly is breeding these entrepreneurs and unicorns. We have seen some of the photographs, and we are going to cover these separately in separate video, because dedicated video is required for that. Chamola sir, may I request you to show my viewers now the facilities which we are just talking about, so that we can capture these research facilities.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah. So Chamola sir, that also gives me an opportunity to interact with you also at the same time, because you are a professor in electrical engineering department, so I had some interaction points. पहला तो आपके research area और academic background से related था, and your position of responsibility in BITS Pilani campus.
So I did my PhD from the National University of Singapore, and my postdoc also. So I worked in various international labs. For example, before my PhD or during my PhD, I also worked with University of South California. So currently I am an associate professor in the AAA department with a joint appointment with Humanities department also. And I basically kind of head the Internet of Things lab, which is present at the Rakesh Kapoor Innovation Center.
So IoT labs you are seeing, sir.
Yes.
I went through your profile and I found very interesting things. I mean, one is you are listed among top 2% scientists. There is a Stanford University list actually in October 2021, long back. I mean, you were a scientist in that. So I want you to tell about your research areas to my viewers. Though you mentioned that IoT lab you are taking care of, but I would like to know about your research areas also.
So, we work in the area of Internet of Things. Internet of Things applied to various application areas. For example, we have healthcare, we have vehicular networks, we have drones and many other applications. So we have been working on say vehicular networks. For example, all of us know that, right? Autonomous cabs and all. So people, right, in industry as well as academia are working on, right, development of autonomous cabs, and there are many challenges to be, right, kind of addressed. For example, real time processing. Just मान लो, right, if a autonomous vehicle is going, right, it is autonomously working. So you see this, the real time or the low latency which the images has to be processed is right, really, right, very right, millisecond or right, even lesser than that. Otherwise, right, there can be accidents and so on. So now how to, right, do that all computer vision and all those particular things with such low latency. So we require FPGA and various other embedded solutions. So we are working on that, right? And other than that, right, you see there is a great surge of application in drones also, just like you are saying in the recent wars and all, right, how the drones are playing such a main part, right, and in other kind of applications also drones are coming up. And with drones, right, one of the big challenges is that the battery life is very less. So, right, there is a lot of research going on in developing autonomous drones, right, kind of autonomous charging platforms, developing that and so on. So, right, this basically kind of, right, enables, and in all these applications you see artificial intelligence is something which very much plays a key role, because, right, artificial intelligence enables computer vision, artificial intelligence enables security and many other things. So, right, we try to do a interdisciplinary research which basically kind of connects all these.
Okay, Professor Chamola, tell me, like, you are using this word interdisciplinary research, and I can see a lot of departments, like, related to rural innovation and technologies. I am very sure it is interdisciplinary, but still I would like to ask you, it is adjacent to electrical engineering, workshops, EEE workshop. So students from other than electrical electronics branches also get opportunity to work here and do
yes,
research.
they very much get opportunity to work. For example, here you see a banner where, right, people, right, the researchers, they are working on food security through AI, satellite imaging technology and robust agriculture at scale. So you can see, right, this involves basically kind of sensor development, which is basically kind of done by the computer, by the EEE department. In addition to that, right, you see the AI image processing is basically done by, right, computer science researchers, and then because it is agriculture and so on, many, right, civil department professors are also actually involved, and the students of those departments also, right, they are involved in actually that.
So, Professor Chamola, you mentioned in your introduction about the vast exposure you have to the global top universities like in Singapore and US. So back home in India, how the curriculum is getting involved? If I talk about BITS Pilani.
So right, if I have to talk about this, right, BITS Pilani offers great flexibility. There is something very beautiful and unique about BITS Pilani as compared to many other academic institutions. So there is a great facility for the students in terms of what elective courses they can take. For example, right, you see a student doing bachelor's of computer science, he can take many electronics related course. Students in electronics, he can take many electives from other disciplines like computer science and so on and so forth. And the faculty also, they also get a flexibility to float new courses. For example, you see, right, conventionally 10, 20, 30 years back, we didn't have many courses like specific courses on drones, specific courses on IoT, specific courses on generative AI, large language models and all these kind of things. So BITS basically gives its faculty a kind of a facility where they can propose new courses on state-of-the-art topics, and right, within a few months of right kind of whole process which has been framework, which has been decided, where a new course goes through review by various campuses, and once it is passed, it is floated. For example, we have a course on electric vehicles, smart grid, drones, generative AI, many new courses, so that we keep our curriculum right state of the art.
So Professor Chamola, my next question was related to that only, though you have already answered it. That was related to various courses in the curriculum for UG students, for PG students. Like you know, BITS Pilani is one of the main destination for students in India to come for higher educational courses like ME courses, and students from across different departments, they look for these courses. These are buzzwords nowadays. We talk about AI, ML, IoTs, you know, electric vehicle. These are the buzzwords among students, and they somewhere want to get connected, whether he is from chemical engineering or mechanical engineering or civil engineering. They want to get connected to these kind of courses for better career opportunities. So you have almost answered that, Professor Chamola.
But I would also like to tell that, right, we have, right, various master's course which, right, allow students from, right, various other disciplines also. For example, you see, if someone has done a bachelor's in some university in, say, mechanical engineering or any other, right, kind of stream, right, BITS has a flexibility where it has a ME in software systems.
Okay.
So basically, right, such students, they can actually kind of change their, right, kind of career
from this,
career path by, right, kind of taking these particular kind of disciplines.
Okay. So these are the combination for the students. Professor, you are also working in EEE department. So that gives me opportunity to ask you question related to the courses in EEE departments also. So as a professor in electrical engineering department, can you tell my viewers like what courses or specializations you have in EEE department?
So, right, we have, right, kind of courses spanning into various domains. For example, in microelectronics, in semiconductors, in embedded systems, power systems, and, right, instrumentation. So we have, and even communication. So we have streams like electrical and electronics, electrical and instrumentation, electrical and computer engineering, electrical and, right, communication engineering, and so on. So, right, there are different, right, streams which we actually give.
So Professor, I request you, this building is very beautiful and looks like a couple of floors, and I am sure we have not seen all the labs, so I request you to show us some more labs here.
Yes. Yeah. So, right, the lab which we just now saw, there's the AR VR lab. So,
this one? Okay.
Yes, there's the AR VR lab. So, you can see, right, there is facility where, right, we have various AR VR kits and, right, kind of very good computing facility which students can use, and, right, they can build solutions based on AR VR.
Okay.
So the students, they work in this particular lab on developing, right, these kind of solutions.
Okay.
So in fact, right, in the first floor, we have many labs. For example, we have the IoT lab. We have actually many industry supported labs also. For example, there is a Postman lab which has been sponsored by, right, Postman. And, right, there are various industry linked projects which are actually ongoing, and, right, our faculty, our students, they participate in all those, right, industry driven projects.
Okay.
Right, and they give the deliverables also.
Okay.
Here I would like to show you the Internet of Things lab,
of
which I am, right, kind of heading.
Okay.
So here we have, as you can see over here, we have actually kind of, assembled various drones which we are working on. So we are using, right, these particular kind of drones for many applications, military applications, agriculture applications, and all. So they have a very good payload capacity, and, right, our students, they participate in many national level competitions also. For example, very recently, right, last year, right, the students, they had actually kind of won around, right, 5 lakh grand prize, the third prize in a national level drone competition.
So let me introduce you to Professor Chamola, friends. Very decorated academician, young professor, but highly decorated.
So this is the IoT lab. So here, in addition to that, right, we have some minor 3D printing facility. We have a humanoid also, which we actually work on. So we have a humanoid also, which has 24 degree of freedom. So this is basically from Now Robotics, right, at France. So which we use for, right, our particular kind of humanoid related projects. So in addition to that, we have various FPGA boards, right, on which we have, right, kind of computer vision algorithms and all which we can run. In fact, right, we have this particular whole facility in a way where not only that the students get to visit this particular lab to work on it, but we have many nodes which are, right, kind of 24/7 connected online, and the students, they are able to access these particular nodes from their rooms, and they are able to kind of run various algorithms and so on this. So, there's the Postman lab which I was mentioning, right. This is basically kind of industry funded, and, right, the students here work on various, right, Postman API basically related projects. So there's the technology enabling center where where BITS basically kind of collaborates with various industries on kind of developing solutions, collaborating with industries for creating solutions for them.
Yeah, Professor Chamola, you know the way to enter into higher educational courses in BITS Pilani, there are 2 or 3 routes. One is GATE exam, students write and then they join these courses. Another is HD exam.
HD set.
So I specifically want to ask you question because there are so many students who either don't write GATE because one reason or the other, or they don't get very high score, or even if they get a high score, they want good scholarship and HD offers that scholarship. Please tell my viewers about HD exam.
So, first of all, those who actually enter using the GATE also, they also get scholarship.
Yes.
And many of the students, they join through GATE also, but if someone has not given GATE also, there's a very good facility where the HD SAT exam is there. That happens once in a year, and for the August intake, there is a there is a online exam, there is a which is conducted in various centers, and the students, they can write that exam, and they can get admission in various streams are there. For example, in our computer science department, we have ME in computer science, ME in software systems. Similarly, in the EEE department, there are various ME in microelectronics, embedded systems, communication engineering, power systems, and so on. So students can select whichever is appropriate.
Yeah. So I can see some students in the lab. They're working in the lab, Professor. So largely they are from which domains, which areas of specialization when they work with you as professor?
So my because I am working on research which is at the conjunction of embedded systems and computer science. So most of my students, whether it be UG students, PG students, or PhD students, they are more or less from the EEE background and or the computer science background.
Okay, combination of these two.
Combination of these two.
Professor, I was going through your profile and I found something very interesting. So not only you are working in EEE, in IoTs, but you are also teaching a course which is Bhagavad Gita course in BITS Pilani. I want you to tell about that, from where you got this interest to teach Bhagavad Gita and how it is relevant. I mean, how does it help students? Because I believe students are more interested for those courses which fetch them placements. How Bhagavad Gita will help them, and from where you got this inclination कि मैं Bhagavad Gita पढ़ाना चाहता हूँ.
So basically, Bhagavad Gita I have been teaching in BITS Pilani since last 5 years. The course is a full credit course, just like any other course where grading is done, exams are there and all. A full course, and every semester almost 100 or more than that, around students take up that course and they benefit. In fact, this course is so very popular that it has got a consistent 9+ feedback every semester. So you see, the engineering graduates today, they are till 12th, they are in so much stress, so much pressure. And after once they come to the engineering college also, there is so much pressure, there is so much competition and various other psychophysical things which actually come up with the students. So I see that Bhagavad Gita, what it actually teaches it teaches how to balance your life, and in addition to that, it imparts Vedic teachings, which many of the questions which the modern science doesn't answer. For example, what is the nature of soul, where we have come from, how the creation has actually come and all. So it basically and how to basically balance your life, because you see many times, you see people, if you just have a lot of money, but it can't buy satisfaction.
Yes, true.
To be actually satisfied, you have to be a very, very a balanced life you should be having. For example, I see many times, people are there working professionals. They are not even able to take, they don't, when they're not trained properly, they are not able to take proper care of their children, their family members. They're just into earning.
Yeah.
But just the question is, whom are they, earning so much money for?
Yeah.
If you can't actually balance a work-life balance, then that's. So we impart various things from the Bhagavad Gita, which makes our students much more solid in terms of kind of quality and in their life also, so that they can become more responsible citizens.
So holistic education and inclusive education and stress management, common solution to all these problems.
Yes.
I think you are given through your course, which is Bhagavad Gita course.
Yes.
Wonderful. So Professor, looks like a wonderful research facility.
So as you can see, sir, here, we have lot of PCB fabrication facility.
Yes.
We have 3D printing facility. We have state of the art 3D printers. For example, you can see here. So there's the PCB fabrication facility which we have. So there's a PCB fabrication facility which we have over here in RKIC. In addition to that, we have amazing 3D printing facility. So if any student has any startup ideas or he wants to actually create a particular prototype, we have a facility. You can see so many 3D printers lying up. And it's not that, the students, they use all these 3D printing facilities. So all different, because different kind of prototypes may be of different sizes. There may be different requirements. So we have various 3D printers which actually cater to a diverse range of kind of product development, so that our students can get a facility of not just conceptualizing interesting problems, but actually kind of developing kind of solutions which can be actually used in industry.
Okay, so what is the name of this lab, Professor?
So this is basically Nidhi Priya's IoT tinkering lab.
Okay.
So this is a facility which has been funded by the government also.
Yes.
So the government has actually kind of given a lot of funding, and we have kind of utilized this funding to create. For example, you can see kind of students working on kind of various robotic applications. For example, you have this particular kind of thing which the students are working on, and you also have a robotic hand on the other side. So as you see over here, we have a robotic hand. So those students who are interested in robotics research, they very frequently use this particular facility for various things like pick and drop and all these kind of industrial automation kind of applications.
Professor, I was going through the profile, this website of BITS Pilani, where internship programs are also launched for students who are not actually the students of BITS campuses. So these kind of facilities, those intern also get the benefit of doing their...
Not only those, but you see many of the school students, you see in BITS, in Pilani, we have so many schools. And very regular visit is there from those students, where they come in small batches, they see the 3D printing facility, they learn various kind of things. And in fact, many other students from Bikaner or kind of nearby many other Rajasthan kind of
I think that is the philosophy
colleges.
of Atal Tinkering Labs also in the schools.
Yes, yes.
So the next version of that is in BITS campus.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful.